Hello everyone, and welcome to another Sunday afternoon chat on an incredibly beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Oklahoma. I mean, it is spectacular. We had rain this morning. We've had rain off and on the last couple of days. We're going to have rain off and on for the next, really, I think 8 or 10 days. It's really kind of a great little pattern that we're in right now. Thunderstorms, but if you happen to be where one is, you can get an awful lot of rain. And it's just really helping a lot of people in a lot of places. We still have some places here in Oklahoma where we're affected by the drought, particularly out in western Oklahoma, northwestern Oklahoma. Some of those places got like 2 and 3 inches, so that's really, really great. We've got quite a bit going. We've got really nice weather the next several days, and that's great because I've got some fishing planned this coming week. I'll tell you about this last week. I did get to fish a little bit this last week also, but the big highlight of the whole thing was getting to spend the weekend with Chris. That's exactly right. I got to spend Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with Chris, and that was spectacular. She is getting better all the time. She's talking so much better. She's frustrated. She says, well, I'm just not talking much. And I said, well, you need to be talking more. You need to talk more. She's lived with me all her life, and when we first got married 57 years ago, she didn't hardly talk at all, and I kind of like that. No, not really. I'm just joshing with you, but as the years went by, she became to talk a whole lot more, and she does talk a lot. And I know you're probably thinking, well, being around you and living with you, how could you have any time to talk? But I don't really talk all the time like you think I do. But she talks a lot, and she's trying to say what she's confident in saying because she just doesn't want to say something that people can't understand. And I told her that's okay, that's not a problem. And of course I get so tickled at her and laugh at her. She laughs at me though anyway, so that's great. We've had a great weekend together. We laughed at each other quite a bit. I'll just put it that way. And I'm getting her up, and she's just almost totally standing up on her own. I make her stand up. I just got back away and say, okay, there, baby, you're standing there. And she's standing there, but she still can't feel that right leg. She has no feeling in it, but she can lock it in and use it for balance, and she stands on it, and her balance is getting better. And if she's going to walk a few steps by the end of June, I told her, I said, you got to do it quick. I've been telling everyone that that's going to happen. I said, you've only got about 3 or 4 more days left. I guess I don't know even what is today. Today's the 27th, so we got 8, 9, 30. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is what we've got left. That's what we've got left. But anyway, if she's not walking by the end of June, she's going to be close. She will be walking in July. We got a big trip planned in August, going to Philadelphia and New York to watch some Dodger baseball games and do some touring of some historic sites. I'm just so proud of the history of America, and I want to visit some around Philadelphia. I've got a good friend that I met at Governor Kristi Noem's event up in South Dakota. I've got a good friend that I met that lives in Philadelphia and lives right by Freedom Hall, and he's going to kind of steer me in the right way to go, so we can do a little sightseeing there, a little tourism type deal in Philadelphia, but have a local guy tell us where to go. And him and his wife are just great people, and I met them at that Governor Kristi Noem's event. We became friends, and so I'm looking forward to going there and saying hi with them and visiting them a little bit, maybe having dinner with them or something. I don't really know, but we're looking forward to that trip. We're also trying to plan a trip to go to St. Louis and watch the Dodgers play 1 or 2 games there in St. Louis. They play 4 games in September. Jack has got to work Memorial Day weekend, and I think that may be one of the games there. I'm not sure, but he's got to work Memorial Day. Got to repair people's hearts over that weekend. So if you have a heart trouble here in northeastern Oklahoma around Tahlequah, Jack will be there to take care of you on Labor Day. So even if it's on a holiday, you're going to be in good shape. But my buddy Winston Tucker's got season tickets to the Cardinals, big Cardinal fan, and he told me that I'll get you tickets anytime you want. You can use my tickets, and so I'm looking forward to trying to get that thing planned. It's still a long way till then, and take Chris to see the Dodgers play in St. Louis. I've seen ball games in St. Louis. Chris has also, but I'm not sure if Jack and Sherry's not been there. I can't remember. She might have been there also. But anyway, I had dinner one time with Stan Musial. It's absolutely great. His son is a big fishing fan, loves to fish, and I got to have dinner with him and his son one time there in St. Louis, and that was just a spectacular deal for me to get to have dinner with Stan Musial, and his son was kind of like having dinner with me, so we had a great time. I took Jamie to that, and it was one of the special treats that I've got by being a fisherman, to get to have dinner with the great Stan Musial, who was just one of the greatest hitters of all time. I've got a buddy, Jim Brewer, that died in a car wreck, but Jim Brewer, the first guy he pitched to in the major leagues was Stan Musial, and he got him out on his famous screwball. But Jim Brewer is a great fisherman, a good friend also, and he's gone. But he was a good guy. But and Sam Musil hit a home run at him in the second at bat. Though I'll go ahead and tell you the rest of the story that Jim Brewer told me. But at any rate, we've got a lot planned for the rest of this summer. We're working a lot like we always do. We're definitely not quitting working. I'm kind of trying to do a lot of Chris's job. Sherry's doing a lot of Chris's job at the same time, and take care of Chris and do my job also. We had a great week this past week. We did get to fish some. We filmed all day on Tuesday. We filmed with Daniel Arms from Arms Family Homestead, a great YouTube channel. Get on there and check that out. If you're not on there, subscribe. He's got over 500,000 subscribers on his channel and just does a fantastic job. And his little boy Houston, 8 years old, almost 9 years old. Houston, we went out and did some cane pole fishing with some of my Jimmy Houston telescopic cane poles, and they're just absolutely great. They sell for 10 or 12 bucks, and we just caught a ton of fish. We're doing a crappie catch, clean, and cook. A crappie catch, clean, and cook. That will be up on our Jimmy Houston Outdoors YouTube probably this coming week. Be up also on Arms Family Homestead. You want to kind of watch it on both because they'll be edited differently, so they'll probably be two different shows. So watch them on both. But we had some surprises in trying to catch crappie on our telescopic cane poles and minnows. We was using crappie and minnows, but we had some surprises. Didn't exactly go as planned, but we'll have that video up probably, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, Pat does that, but maybe Monday, maybe Wednesday, maybe, yeah, probably Monday or Wednesday, yeah, this week, I believe. Be watching for it. If you're not subscribed to Jimmy Houston Outdoors YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you're over on Facebook, go over to YouTube and subscribe to Jimmy Houston Outdoors. We did shot a lot of other stuff for our YouTube and Facebook channels during the week also. And then I came over and spent the weekend with Chris over on Lake 10 Killer, so that was just absolutely fantastic. I'm actually standing in Jack and Sherry's yard right now shooting this and getting ready to head back over to 10 Killer. We've got a great week coming this week too. We got a great week planned. I've got friends coming in tomorrow, Monday. I've got my buddy Thunder Thornton. That's right, Thunder Thornton from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and another great friend is coming with him. Philip Fulmer, you might know the name Philip Fulmer. He won the last national championship in football for the University of Tennessee back in, I believe, 1999. I think they won in 99. Oklahoma University won in 2000. And I got to throw that in, Boomer Sooner. But Philip also was athletic director for several years at the University of Tennessee. A great man, a great friend, and they're going to come in and fish a couple, 2 or 3 days. Bennett Anderson is going to come down, my buddy from Oklahoma City, and he's also a great friend of Bennett and Phillips. And we're going to just have a guys' night out because there's not going to be any girls there. Chris, of course, is going to be with Sherry all this week doing rehab tomorrow and Wednesday. She only got 2 days this week, but tomorrow and Wednesday, being a holiday week coming up, they're cutting a little bit of that short this week and next week. These next 2 weeks are only going to be, I think, 2 sessions rather than 3, but the sessions are really helping. But so I'll be able to fish with Philip, and we're probably going to have to dodge thunderstorms the way they're talking. So maybe some of them heavy, so we would like to fish both lakes at the house. We probably will, but it sort of depends on the weather. We're old guys, we might melt. We're so sweet if we get out in the rain, but we want to stay close to the dock, so we don't mind getting wet. It won't hurt us a bit. We probably need to get wet, but make it smell a little bit better. But I'm really looking forward to Thunder and Philip and Bennett coming down to the ranch this week. We're gonna just have a blast. It's gonna be an awful lot of fun. And so we've had a great week this past week. We got another great week coming this next week, and Chris is improving all the time. She's just getting better, and I'm not. A lot of times I don't put the lift belt around her when I help her up because she's pretty much standing up by herself. I'm just kind of getting behind her and using a little bit for balance. Now she didn't have her shoes on today, and she kind of slipped a little bit, and I pulled a muscle in my leg, but that's all right. I need to pull a muscle in my leg every now and then. Yeah, make me appreciate myself a little better. But anyway, we had a great week this last week. We got another great week we're looking forward to this next week. It's like every day that I live, I can't wait for another day to begin because I know some great things are going to happen. Things are going great with the deer. Some of y'all have been asking and worrying about Ranger, and we have not seen Ranger around the house in several days, but I believe I saw him out in the woods probably about a mile from the house the other day. I'm pretty sure it was Ranger. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure it was Ranger. It certainly looked like little Ranger, and I was meeting somebody up at the gate that had some feed or something coming in, and I couldn't stop and go over and make sure it was him. I sure wanted to, but I had somebody waiting at the front gate, so I really couldn't do that. But I believe it was Ranger. If you remember, though, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, I don't know how long ago it's been, but TC, and we hadn't seen him since in 2 or 3 months. The big giant buck that's Forrest and Jenny's daddy, we hadn't seen him in 2 or 3 months. I thought, my gosh, something's happened to TC. And TC's 6 years old, so he's getting on up there anyway, and he will, at some point in time, he's just going to simply die a natural death. But I was thinking something might have happened to TC, but he showed back up at the house within the last several days, and he was there, showed up one afternoon. I couldn't believe it, and he was there that night or around close by that night. He didn't stay at the house, but I saw him the next day also a couple of times, and that's it, a couple of days, and that's it. But we have a lot of bucks on the ranch that we never see except during the rut. So it's a possibility that little Ranger, again, we have no body, we didn't find a body. It's a possibility that little Ranger is okay. It's a possibility he is. It's a possibility Milburn's still alive and well, and like I said, we saw TC recently, definitely saw TC, and he's got a pretty good set of horns going already too, so he's going to be another nice deer to look at, and it might be when we get to the rut this year with all the does hanging around the house that all three of those bucks, Milburn and TC and Ranger, might be coming back around the house, because that's where the girls are. The boys are where the girls are. So I don't know. Something could have happened to Milburn and Milburn and Ranger, but we have seen TC lately, and I believe I saw a little Ranger. I really believe that I saw little Ranger. So the deer are doing good. We did have another boy and girl. We've got 18 baby fawns. Knock on all the wood you can, we've not had a baby fawn die yet. The little baby fawn that we brought to the house the other day and fed because it was not able to get up, that fawn is fine. We took her back to her mama. I was really hoping to be able to raise that. I almost gave the little fawn a name. If I'd given her a name, she's staying with me. But we just believe that it's better off being raised by their mama if that's a possibility. We don't just take the deer just to raise them and make pets out of them. We only take them to save their life. So we just made the decision that it was better to put her back with her mama. We're checking her every 2 or 3 hours, and she's doing just fine. So we've got 18. It's a possibility we may have another 2 or 3 or 4 babies. We'll see what happens on that. And they're gorgeous, they're beautiful. We'll show all the babies on our Thursday night antler growth video for sure. Let y'all take a look at how they're growing. They're basically growing like weeds. Deer have to get bigger quicker, stronger quicker in order to survive in the wild. They can't stay the little cuddly tiny deer very long. They just can't do it. Now they're precious. When they've got those spots, they're precious at any age, I believe, but they really are precious when they've got those spots. So the baby deer are all doing good. The little deer that we brought to the house that we were really concerned about is doing great also. Bubba seems to be doing good with since he's in the large pen with all the does and babies in there. He's got 14 of those 18 babies in there too. So he's a family man for sure. He seems to be enjoying it really, really well. We got some great videos coming up this week. Like I say, you don't want to miss that cane pole. It's not really cane pole, it's the Jimmy Houston telescopic fishing pole. They are just great fun to fish with. I'm telling you what, they are so much fun, and you're just not going to believe what happened on a video. You're just not going to believe. Going out there to catch crappie. We got a lake full of crappie. We knew we'd just catch a bunch of crappie, but things don't always go as they're planned, so it's going to be fun to watch those videos. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great week this week. That's next Sunday. I believe it's next Sunday is the 4th of July, Independence Day. I'd just like to throw a little challenge out there for you. If you can, Google up, or whatever you do, Safari up, or however you do it on your computer, and look up the Declaration of Independence. Independence Day is the day, July 4th, 1776, when we declared our independence from Great Britain, from England. And we did that because we thought the king was oppressing the colonies in America. We were owned by England. We thought the king was oppressing. And you go in there and look at that Declaration of Independence and read it. It's a pretty lengthy deal. Up close to the front of it talks about we hold that these rights are self-alienable, or whatever, however all that's said. But right in the beginning, that we talk about our rights being endowed by our Creator, our God. So we formed this country under God. And I think that's the reason this country has been here longer than any form of government in the history of the world, other than the Ming Dynasty. And, and we're up there now, what are we? We're getting pretty close to 250 years, getting close to 250 years. I don't know if we'll make 250 years or not. As long as we keep God in this country, we keep God in our hearts, God in our life, we will. We've kicked him out of a lot of places in this country, but there's so many of us that believe so much that this country is because of God Almighty. And go in there and read that Declaration of Independence. Kind of interesting to read. There's several things in there that we broke away from England because of, that our government is oppressing us that way right now. It's kind of funny. It's really not funny. It's really sad, but it does a man good to go in and read the Declaration of Independence. I haven't read it completely at all in a few years myself, and I've got that as one of my goals this week, is to read the Declaration of Independence. Might talk about it a little bit next Sunday, but I do remember that the last time I read it, there were several things in there that I thought, and I don't remember who we had running Congress or who was president the last time I read it, but I remember there were several things that our government was doing that was reasons that we broke away from England. And one of the big ones we think about, obviously, remember in the Boston Tea Party, is taxation without representation, getting taxes that we didn't vote for, taxes that, and another was double taxation, which we President Bush done away with the double taxation, and President Trump made that a big part of his deal when we did away with death taxes, estate taxes that have taken away farms and ranches and houses and things that people work for all their life. And they bought with after-tax money, and then the government come in and tax you when you die and get 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, 60, 70% of your estate, and people had to sell farms that they had grown up on, their grandmas and granddads had grown up on, great-grandmas and granddads, and of course, we got rid of that. They're talking about putting that back in America right now, as a matter of fact, talking about putting back in a real healthy estate tax, which would absolutely take away a lot of the farms from the remaining farmers we have left here in America, and it's just horrible if that happens. But anyway, just read it. Irrespective of what political party, the Declaration of Independence is not Democrat and Republican. It's not independent. It's not progressive. It's not conservative. It's not liberal. It's the Declaration of Independence, where a group of men formed a government under God because of oppression from the King of England. And it's pretty enlightening the last time I read it. And I'm going to make it a point to try to read it again this week. I can't guarantee you, but I'd ask you to try to do that. Just go down through there and read the reasons why we broke away from England and became the United States of America. And we certainly want to stay the United States of America. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. We're going to have rain off and on all week in Oklahoma. A lot of the South's going to be that way. And I know that we all appreciate it, except some of the places it's had too much rain. But hey, it's better to have too much rain than not enough rain, because you can't hardly have too much water. And I know sometimes it gets in your houses and your basements, and it's certainly in places you don't want it. But just remember, it's always better to have more water you need than not have any water at all. And that happens sometime too, and it's happened since the beginning of time. Guys and girls, have you a great one out there this week. Remember, this is the week we're going to start celebrating the Declaration of Independence, the formation of the United States of America, the greatest country I've ever lived in, and I would cast my vote as the greatest country in the history of the world. Guys and girls, remember, I sure do love you.